guys for having me, and I'm so glad I'm sharing this tea with these very awesome ladies. So I'm just gonna hit the ground running. My name is Vivian Uguche, and I am a journalist. I've done TV, and I've done radio, and I'm doing TV. Now I studied biochemistry in Kogi State University. I used to be in Benue State when I moved to Kogi State, and then I served in Oborokara, that's in Akwa Ibom. And I was at home this day, and I was just waiting. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was just waiting for a job. And I heard Joy FM, Benue State. They made this announcement, if you're young, blah, 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 come. I was living in Angad, Kogi State then. I traveled to Otukpo in Benue State. We were about 120 that came for the audition. And about 10 of us were selected. I was one of them, and that's how I got the job. My first ever job as a radio presenter. He was one of the BBC people that trained me, in those days. And like he said, he's not a nice person at all, but very good teacher. So, like about a year in Joy FM, I felt I needed more. I heard on Cosmo FM, are you this, blah, 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 can you do this? Cosmo is in Enugu State. And I traveled to Enugu State, and then just 3 people out of about 50 were selected. And so I left Benue for Enugu. About 7 months in Cosmo, I heard they were going to close the station down because of debts and all of that. And then I heard on Vision FM, are you this? Do you have this voice? Can you do this? I had nobody in Abuja, but I took my bag, left Enugu, and traveled to Abuja, went for the audition in Vision FM Abuja, got the job, and that was where I did my last job as a radio presenter. After that, I came to Lagos, where I got my first TV presenter job in Lover Plus TV. After that, I went to Galaxy TV, and after that, STV, and after that, Plus TV, and then I entered. And after Plus TV, I decided to take a break. Did some training, and then I ended up in the BBC just after that. So that's it.
You see?
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Aro Leonard, thank you so much. Aro Leonard has been a part of my story even way before I became a broadcaster. I've been a noisemaker before then. Vivian too was one of those people when I came into STV. I knew nothing about TV or newscasting. She saw me through. So thank you so much, both of you, for getting Mercy to this place where she is. I am Mercy Frank. I'm a storyteller. And right now, I work as a TV anchor at Silverbird Television. That's why she said Silverbird TV when she was talking. As a current breakfast show host, where we talk all the issues, current affairs on the morning show. And I have a deep passion for technology and sustainability. And that led me to start a show, a tech-focused show on TV, where I talk to millennials and Gen Zs about technology and how they can use innovative ideas to solve problems within their communities. That's what I do right now. How did I start? Unlike Vivian, I was more like a digital person. That's how my life started. That's how my foray into podcasting started. What happened? I looked for a job on radio because I was crazy about radio. I thought people say you have such an amazing voice. Come do this. I go the distance. What's the problem? Because I was living in Badagry, and most of the radio stations we had were either in Keja or in VI, or Reparting was in Alagbadu. So that was the problem that we had, because they felt distance wasn't going to help me. And so after trying, I said, why not start your own radio? I went online, made searches. Then it was cyber cafe then, that's what we had there. I went online, made searches, and then I realized there was something called podcasting. And so I started interviewing friends of mine about some issues. I picked I borrowed, back then was borrowing, I borrowed phones. This is a small phone that had a recorder. I got their comments on issues. I put them together, recorded myself, and I'll go to the cyber cafe, put them together, and I started my own podcast, and nobody knew about what I was doing there. But that was way before podcasting became a thing. in Nigeria. So I started, it was called the Footprint XYZ. I didn't have money to start a website then. So there was this free XYZ website. A friend of mine had to start up, and then we moved on from there, and I started what they call the Coach Speaks podcast, and I had graduated because they didn't noticing me. I was invited to speak at Social Media Week Lagos, Social Media Week Kenya as well. And then from there, I moved on to start a tech show on radio. It was this radio station at Jibo, I can't remember, no, it was Hot FM, right? Jibo, that's the station. You know, what is it? Kiss FM, I beg your pardon, Kiss FM. And I took a break from there. Dan Foster of blessed memory heard me and said, girl, you're wasting your life. That's the way he talks, the attitude talk, attitude when he talks. You're wasting your life, girl. Just come over to the radio. I'm going to teach you to be a superstar. I said, okay, fine. And so I was a volunteer co-anchor, and I produced a 5-hour belt on radio then with the knowledge I had in podcasting. And I started that. And the next thing, people started sending something to me. There's this TV station that wants to start up. If you know you're young, you want to grow, blah, 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 come over. I didn't want to because I was crazy about radio. Dan Foster of blessed memory said, okay, you know what's going to happen, girl? Put your CV together. I was bad at writing CV. I mean, BADT, that kind of bad. Yeah, at writing. So I put my CV together, put my cover letter together, and then said, okay, put it in the email, let me take a look at it. Took a look at it. The next thing was to please just hit send. So just go to this thing. I was like, no way, I can't do it. I remember I called Mr Aro Leonard. Oh, there's this TV station, da da da. He said, Mercy, you're good at this, let her go do it. He told me so many things. Aro Leonard is one person I can call. I want to spend 5 minutes with him on the phone. He's just going to end up talking to me for close to 2 hours. The last conversation we had on the phone was an hour and 30 minutes. That's how it can be to you when you realize that you are somebody who has the potential and you are working towards getting to where you need to get to. Having a good head on the shoulder is very important, and that's one thing that I know I've been blessed with that has been helping me so far. I got there. I called her nasty. I told her to her face. The head of the news then, she was a no-nonsense person. Vivian knows what I'm talking about. She was a no-nonsense person. I had no idea what to do on TV. But I went there with one, the interest, and two, I introduced myself the way Aro told us right now. I told her what I could bring to the station. This was something that the chairman of the station wanted for a long time that nobody was doing. I didn't know about it. I just knew there was a gap because I had watched the TV, I had also listened to the radio, and I knew there were some things I could bring to the table that they didn't have there. And that was what I went with. There were people there who had 10 years, people who already saw on TV, who had 10 years of experience. I just wanted to express myself the best way that I can. And the next thing, I got the job. So I started from the very bottom of the rung of the ladder. I didn't know how to do a reporting radio. In fact, my boss back then, who is now one of my very close friends, told me, Mercy, if they were to fire anybody at Silverbird back then, you were to be the first person to go to leave. And I said, you know what, I wanted to grow, but I needed to start from the very scratch. And so I began to study. I started taking online courses on how to be a reporter, how to tell stories creatively. And I started. The first time I practiced what I learned from what I learned online. The next thing, she commended me. I blasted again. I gave another one. And the next thing, she was screaming, Mercy, are you on steroids? Blame for Mercy. This is what it felt good. Those feedback felt good. Before I knew what happened, I was, given approval to go on air to anchor the news, which was where Vivian came in, because when it comes to casting news, you want to lick your screen when Vivian is, anchoring the news. She came in, she was a lot of help. I knew nothing about anchoring news other than, have my big hair on me and come with an attitude. And that was how little by little I climbed. And today I'm on the #1 show on the TV. I do well on radio. It's been a beautiful journey. But it's not been, you see us on TV looking absolutely amazing, good, we speak well, I want to speak like you. We did a lot of job to get here, and with people, with classes like this, with people like this who teach you how to get there. I mean, you can, from where you are right now, within 4 years, I call myself one of the luckiest people in broadcasting, because I know people, 10 years, they haven't even smelt the camera. But I was able to do that with the luck that I had, with the people that I had that groomed me, and with the head that I had to take hook, line, and sinker what they teach me and practice it. So that's a summation of how Mercy Frank got to where she is today. Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abayo General. I'm the producer, Metro FM. I like to, just identify with production. Though I do presentation as well on that. My journey into radio. I've always done radio, by the way. At some point, I did TV, but it was private stuff. It wasn't, so. But my journey into radio. I remember when I joined. That was in 2005. Yeah. Then I submitted my application, and then I decided to just understudy someone. Her name was her name. Yeah, I think this edition. That's her name. She's no longer in Nigeria. She's moved to the UK. But then when I started, it wasn't something that I was like, okay, so because I was looking at people's attitude and everything. I wanted to know if this is the place I really want to be. Like if I could just fit in and I'll be fine. I realized that I had passion in me. I had so much of that. So there was a particular time when the DJ came around to. Then I was not thinking of stabilizing myself at the station. So about just thinking, okay, maybe I'll just do 3, 4 months and Scooby Doo. So the DJ came around. That was Dr. Edio, and then he had this very beautiful, outing with the staff, and he started talking, and I just had so many questions in my mind I needed to ask. So that takes us to being inquisitive. So I was very inquisitive. I wanted to learn something. I wanted to know something, and I just told the person I was understudying, the additional. So please, I have questions. Like everybody, questions because they were asking who has a question to ask. Nobody was. I have a question to ask. Say, okay. Yeah. And I was like fresh, like I really don't know Jack. So and then I started asking my question, and the man just after I was done, the man just looked at me and like, who is this guy? Can you just put out my payroll, please? That was it. That was how I just got a job working with radio, and since then it's been, from one step to the other, one level to the other. And presently, I'm the manager of programs, Metronet 7.7 FM. I have my specialty in documentary. I love documentary so much because it's very tasking and very creative. And then I like my imagination to run wild. I close my eyes like this, and I'm saying something about what I want to write about. I write it, and I go back to bed, and I'm saying something, and I'm like, and the people I'm working with, they're like, no, this is what we wanted to do. You're not taking us. I'm like, so that is the way I run my life. There's the part I had to do for years. I did the breakfast show. That's AM Lagos Live on Metro FM. I work with the likes of Charles Nazodo, Delia Pepe, for Pedro Dola, Uche, Kumanyere. Quite a lot of them. Then I almost ran all the shifts because them were quite few. So there's no way you will not run one shift or the other. And then, because production was like blood flowing in our veins, we were working till 1 a.m. Like, you don't want to go. I have my boss sitting right here, so you don't want to go. Once you're done working, you just, I have this idea. Let me just put it down and let's see what I can do with it before I leave. Before you leave, it's already 2 of them. Like, and we have a place where we normally stay. Like, it's more of like a cubicle, but you have your computers everywhere, so you can always think and then put things down. So by the time I get there, before you know it, I'm already there till 1 a.m. and I don't want. Sometimes I'm just like, I think I just want to stay. Before you know it, I realized that this is what I wanted to do. I just wanted to be in the broadcasting, and I want to be a producer. Why? Because it's like you're giving birth to something. So you're creating something like from nothing. And it's beautiful when you see that thing grow and it's so massive in your face and you're like, okay, this is something beautiful. And a lot of people are enjoying it, they're enjoying it and they can benefit from what you're putting out. So it's been a bumpy ride, yeah. Some of the things that, because I'm from Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, so some of the things that we were thinking that might be coming, we may not say it. But then you should know that this is not a place for you to be if you're just about the money. Yeah. Of course, the money will come, but first you need the passion. You need that thirst, you need the hunger, you need to know, be nosy. You're not being, it's not being wrong. You're just being nosy, yes. So you be nosy, you need to know a thing about something. Always grab whatever you see, just read it. You never can tell when that information will come back to you, when you've been needing it, and you're on the spotlight, seated, and somebody's like, seriously, you get that information, and I'm like, okay, I got that information some way I can't even remember. It comes to you like that. So always guard yourself with so much information that you can lay your hands on and know something about everything. So that's my story, and I hope that.
See what I said? But today you listen to them, you don't know how far. You don't know all the hard work they put in. But you see, it pays. It pays, right? So do you have questions for them quickly? Anything you want to ask now? You see what she said? What gave her a job?
Christian.
Oh. So ask now. Is there something you want to ask them about? They told you the sweet part. Ask them that key question. We have a few because we don't have much time. Are we set? Who goes first?
Good afternoon. Our dear Madam,
Remember your 30 seconds.
so my question is this. So are you saying that for one to be in broadcasting, one doesn't really have to have background in mass communication? Is that
No, I think I studied biochemistry in school. I knew nothing about journalism. I learned on the job.
that's what's all.
Yeah, sorry, can you take
Okay.
that question?
Okay.
Sorry, ma'am, just hold on. Yeah,
Okay, so am I just gonna answer?
yeah,
Okay,
answer.
so I studied biochemistry in school. I knew nothing about journalism. I learned on the job.
Okay, so I just want to add to that. Yeah, in broadcasting, it's like all commerce affairs, but then that means you don't need a background in mass communication, but you must be able to communicate. Like for radio, you should be able to speak to somebody that's about 6 years old, and the person will understand you. Speak also to somebody of 90, and and the person will understand you. And again, while you grow, don't forget that you have to grow, yourself. So you have to develop yourself as well. So you can go back to school and study something, or maybe some courses, 3 month courses, just to grow yourself and develop yourself. But it doesn't mean that you have to, be somebody who has communication before start. And again, because I guess you're thinking maybe you want to start and you don't know how to start. Please, mentoring is something that you should think about. And when when you're finding a mentor or you want to be a mentee, try as much as possible not to. I need you to be patient. I need you to be very patient. Sometimes some people don't even know how to teach you 1+1 because they're not teachers. These are broadcasters, and because of the way they're creative people. So they may not have that, that to go on your level, to go in your pace. And you'll be like, this is not teaching me anything. It's not. Just watch. Take your time, watch. Before you know it, you'll have something. So I just need you to be patient while you're in it, and I'm sure you'll be better.
Thank you. Next question. You guys want anybody?
So ladies first.
Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon once again. I listened to you talk about your transition from the radio to the television, and then you went back again. And when you want to, apply for a job or something like that, some people ask you if you have any, experience in working with the television, and they make it look like it's this very big thing that you must at least, know this before you be there. But when we're talking, you're like, you move from this to this. I am a radio person, and I want to be not just behind the MIC now. I think this is me thinking that I think it's time for me to come there for the cameras, and I'm getting discouraged from people telling me that if you don't have any experience or any first-hand thing being at the television before now, you don't have opportunity to be there before. So I think I need to, more like motivation, but clear the air so that we know if really what they are saying is the right thing or if they're just saying that to scare us away.
Okay, so let me just tell you my story as an answer. Were you going to say something?
Yes. I want which time? What time?
1:38 p.m. Yes.
Because that is also active. So we'll do this till 1:45. Is that fine? Yes. So questions, then your questions start at 1:45 stop. So you get what you want to answer. At 1:45.
Okay, shall I?
Yes.
So when I was going to transition from radio to TV, I had to watch a little bit TV presenters, anchors, wrap my head around it so that I could understand the difference between radio, because there's a difference between radio and TV. I had to get used to the camera because the camera picks every single expression in your face, your emotions. You cannot deceive the camera. I had to learn all of those technicalities. I had to learn how to be audible. In fact, I had a lot of training. And I had to be patient, like she said. I had to sit down and understudy people and then go on air. But it was a period of sitting down and learning. It was a period of humility. You have to be humble and you have to be ready to learn. One of the things that stood up, one of the problems I had was being audible. So one of my teachers called me and said, do the cork practice, no pun intended. The cork is the C-O-R-K, like the cork of a wine. Put it in between your teeth, read a play, read something, listen to how you sound. It was ridiculous the way I was sounding the first time because you are your own best critic. So I had to do that and then do another reading session without the cork. I did this for about 1 week and my reading changed. So I became best friends with my dictionary. I was able to know that you don't say favorite, you say favorite. Because when you go on air and you mispronounce stuff, you just demarket yourself. And that is the end of it. So I had to study, do some homeschooling myself while I watched people and while I got trained at work. And that was my transition from radio to TV.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Did you hear her story? Did you hear her story? She mentioned that she was a mentee under someone. Don't wait for, in fact, if you have to pay for it, go ahead and do it. Because you never can tell. So sometimes it may not be like, it's convenient for you. But you know that this is what I want to do. Go for that best person. Sorry, please, can I just pay for you to mentor? You'll be surprised the person is even saying, don't worry, I can mentor you. Do you understand? So whatever you go all out for it, you'll be surprised. And before you know it, you'll be like, okay, can you just join the group? Before you know it, and then you're doing it for free initially, or maybe you're paying for it. Then later you're doing it for free, you're not paying, and then nobody's paying you. And before you know it, you get paid.
Thank you. You are appreciated.
I think you've not had the guy before. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry about that.
As a professor, what are the major things you do that you not do without
Okay. First thing you need, I call them soft skills before the hard skills. The first thing is your interest. They say passion, they say all those things, fine, but I just categorize them under interest. You need to have the interest because that's what keeps you and have a dream. Where are you seeing yourself in broadcasting in the next 10 years? What you do now, it's either going to lead you or derail you from getting to that position. Then you need knowledge. That's very important. That's what we sell. I mean, that's the expertise. You need knowledge. She said, learn or know something about everything. Be able to hold a conversation, even if it's you're waiting for a plane and someone talks about politics, or someone talks about entertainment, or someone talks about passion. How much can you hold the person in a conversation, an expert for that matter, and you want to know about the person? So the knowledge is very, very important. You also need finesse, I must have to say, because it's about personality, right? That's what you see. You need the finesse as well. People want to watch you. It's not necessarily about the knowledge. Some people come there because, oh, she's cute. I like the way she puts her earring, or her hair is unusually always fly. Or there's this guy who always like wearing this bow tie, your personality is something that you need to have. So that's what sells to the people out there. You heard her mention earlier on that you need to find a way to, as my producer calling me, I need to get out of here as soon as possible. You heard her talking about, how she had to practice how to speak and pronounce what's the right way on air. Let me just stop at those three. I think we carried on from there.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you were asking. I think I'm not done answering the question, so you guys can go on and carry on. Okay, she did so much justice to that. But I just wanted to add that right now, presently, there's what they call multimedia. Multimedia.
All right.
So if you want to grow in this business, you just have to, like, you're combining everything together. So take, for example, I'm on radio, but I can stream, like I can do live streaming. So I can actually do something out of my small show, like I did today. My doctor and I was able to stream it live for people to watch. That's something addition. Before then, I would have put up something for people to just to create a kind of awareness that this is doctor that will be coming and this is the topic we're talking about. So it just try as much as possible to harness all media to make sure that you are standing tall wherever you find yourself. Radio, TV, print, anyway, just make sure you harness. Just like you see Punch and some of them now, you see that they have a bit of spinning and all of that. They do all this media just so that they can put themselves in better steps. Just try and manage that.
Oh, sure. About all this good inside of my name is but is there any moment when it's what we call investigating? Yeah, is there any bitter side of it?
Bitter side of it.
Oh, yeah.
Investigating.
Yes, there is.
That's what I want to share from that.
Okay. Do you want to go?
Okay, so investigative journalism is a very risky. Yes, but yes, you need to know the pros and cons. Like, okay, so because you are delving into an area where you need a bit of security, you are not meant. You're to get an information that nobody has. So that means you're going farther than everybody else. So you personally should make sure that you are you're covered in a way. I remember when I was running one HIV campaign like that, and we had to do investigative. It was a narrow escape for me. If not, I would have been hot. I went to Obanide. It was men sleeping with men, or one of those, or sex workers. I can't remember which of them. And I was wired. It was something I needed to do, but in the course of it, I made a mistake, and it was so fast for other people to get, other people that are not journalists. It was just me and a friend, a journalist as well, and they were able to realize that it was something that was not natural, that I was trying to set up something. So, they came on me and like, oh yeah, let us see, there's something on you. I'm like, come on, I don't understand. You understand? You just find a way. I just add a way, I just found a way to, get myself out of that trouble. But the truth is, you must be on top of the game. You must always be thinking, okay, so before you leave your station, you must be able to think of several ways to get out of one issue before you leave your station or leave your room as an investigative journalist. So don't just go thinking that, oh, this is it. And then you must know the terrain where you want to walk. Okay, you're going to Lagos Island, you don't even know anywhere. You should have a friend that this is the corner. You want to escape, you get to escape. You must know all those things. Because it's more like you just want to be, you're vulnerable at that point. So you just try as much as possible to make sure that you do all your assignments. Do all your assignments to get out of any funny issue. And of course, you know the codes. You must know the codes. The NBC code codes. I'm sure BBC code codes. You know all the codes. So that even when you're doing in the process of reporting or anything, you don't step on toes. Like You're not supposed to, even while you're doing your investigative journalism, you're not supposed to showcase the pictures or show the pictures of children. It is not allowed. You know that? You're not supposed to interview children when their maybe their caregiver or their guardian is not giving you the permission to do so. So you have some of those good things.
All right, thank you very much. Let's start together.
When you're going to a dangerous terrain, get a fixer. Get a fixer. I mean, I remember going to Gele to cover a gas flaring report, and my cameraman and I were mocked by the boys because the chairman didn't want us to cover the report. So we came out lucky. It was God saved us because we had a fixer who was from that village, so he got us out of it. So get a fixer before you go to a date.
Someone to help you.
Yes. Someone who is from that from that area knows people and go in and out without